Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. I'm excited to move with you, to breathe with you, and to just kind of ground into this moment with you right now. So we're going to start this flow in a easy seat position, so a comfortable seat. So maybe for you that means grabbing a block or a blanket or a pillow to put underneath your hips. Kind of raise them up a little bit, give the hips some extra space. And beginning to place the hands either on top of the knees or opening the palms up towards the sky, whatever feels comfortable for you today. And starting to close the eyes, or maybe if that doesn't feel good for you in this moment, just lowering the eyes or focusing on one object in front of you. And taking some big, deep, conscious breaths to land on your mat right now. Really being conscious with these big, deep breaths you're taking. Not even really thinking about anything, just noticing the breath. Noticing sensations that come with breathing that often get overlooked. So maybe noticing the temperature of the air as it comes in through your nostrils. And feeling that temperature moving in through your body. Feeling it move down through your throat, into your chest, your ribs, your belly. And then noticing how at some point the inhale stops. And it's almost like that air flips and starts to move up out of the body. Maybe noticing the feeling internally as you're nourishing every cell in your body with this oxygen. Noticing how good it feels to nourish, to breathe, to live. And it's in these moments that we remember how this tool, this breath, is always available to us. In times of stress, anxiety, worry, joy, sadness, anger. This constant process is happening. And we always have the opportunity to tune inward and connect with this process. Taking 5 more deep breaths here in this position. Maybe you start to close the lips together and just breathe in and out through the nose. Starting to create some heat internally in the body with this breath. On your next breath in, start to lift your arms up towards the sky above you. And as you exhale, start to fold over to the left side, dropping that left arm. Inhaling back up to center. Exhaling over to the right, dropping the right arm. Taking this movement with your own breath, a few rounds. Slowly starting to create and breathe some space into the body. Starting to feel what it feels like to connect movement with this breath. On your next breath in, inhale the arms up towards the sky above you. And exhale, start to reach them down towards the ground in front of you. Leading with your heart, just start to walk the hands out as far as they go without just totally collapsing into this position. Start to walk the hands back and switch the crossing of the legs. So cross the opposite leg that you had in front. Take a deep breath in, maybe reaching up to the sky above you. And exhale, start to lower those hands to the ground, walking them out as far as feels good for you today. Wanting to create some space in the back here. Take one more breath here. Slowly start to walk the hands back. Coming into some seated spinal twists here. So place that right hand behind your right tailbone. Maybe you need to move your blanket or your pillow. Placing the right hand behind the right tailbone, begin to lengthen the spine, lifting the crown of the head up towards the sky. Start to twist to the right. Maybe that left hand comes on the outside of your right knee. Just remembering in these twists, we want to lengthen our spine as we inhale and really turn into the twists on your exhale. One more breath here. As you exhale, start to come back to center, pausing for a moment. And on your next breath in, turning towards the left. So placing that left hand behind the base of the spine, bringing the right hand to the outside of the left knee. And once again, lengthening the spine as you inhale. And then really twisting from the core as you exhale. One more breath here. Exhale, coming back to center. Coming onto the hands and knees into a tabletop position. So in this tabletop position, We're going to start with some cat-cow movements. So inhale, dropping the belly down, lifting the heart forward. Exhale, pulling the belly up towards the spine, rounding through the back. Inhale, dropping that belly, lifting the heart forward. Exhale, really rounding through the spine, pulling the belly button in. Start to take a few rounds of these on your own, at your own pace, with your own breath. And maybe it feels good to linger in one of these shapes a little longer. Feeling into the side body. Seeing where your body would like to create some extra space or get some extra love today. And when you feel complete, finding a neutral spine, slowly and very intentionally start to ground your toes into the mat and send the hips back for downward facing dog. So if this is your first downward facing dog of the day, you might have a generous bend in your knees. Heels might be a few inches off the ground. Just recognizing where your body is today at this moment, not expecting anything of it. Just noticing and letting it be. Being with that, letting go of expectation. We can create so much freedom. Maybe moving around in this downward dog a little bit, you start to take your left hand and reach it back towards the right ankle or the right calf. So having 3 points of contact on the ground, you lift that hand up and reach it towards the opposite leg. Placing that left hand back into downward facing dog, pausing for a breath. And now maybe you start to bring the right hand to reach towards that left calf or that left ankle. Staying with the breath. Bringing that hand back towards the front of your mat. Start to walk the hands back to meet the feet. Coming into a forward fold here. So really in this first forward fold of our practice, really working on just letting the body hang. Just letting the torso surrender to the earth. Letting gravity work for it. And just feeling the energy in the feet, as they are the ones holding you up and allowing your body to surrender in this position. So it's sort of this duality of supporting yourself at the same time allowing yourself to surrender. Maybe you grab opposite elbows here and rock back and forth. Slowly and very consciously starting to roll up. So really rooting through the feet here as you start to stack each vertebrae on top of itself. Coming into a standing position at the back of your mat. Pausing here to set an intention for this practice. Maybe a word or a phrase. Something you wish to embody in your practice today and off your mat into your life. Taking a big breath in, inhaling your intention. And an open mouth exhale, letting it go into the world. Inhale, lifting the arms up overhead. Grab the right wrist with the left hand and start to lean towards the left side, creating a crescent moon shape in the body here. Inhale, both arms up towards the sky. And exhale, start to grab the left wrist with the right hand, leaning towards the right. Inhale back to center, reaching up towards the sky. And exhale, folding down over your legs. Inhale up to a flat back position. Exhale, placing the hands down, starting to walk out into plank position. Pausing for a moment in plank. And then lower all the way down to your mat, all the way to your belly. Inhaling up for a baby cobra. Pressing that heart forward. And exhaling back into downward facing dog. Starting to build a sequence here, starting to connect the breath with your body movements. Staying with that breath that we created in the beginning of the practice. On your next exhale, slowly walk the feet in to meet the hands at the top of the mat. Inhaling up to a flat back. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Inhale, rooting to rise, lifting the arms up overhead, reaching up towards the sky. Exhale, folding over your legs. Inhale up to a flat back. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. This time, just step the right foot back. Immediately put that right knee down. And inhale up for a low crescent lunge. Inhaling up into this lunge, really reaching the arms up towards the sky. Staying in this position for a couple of breaths. Feeling some space being created in that front hip of the knee that's down. Taking a big breath, reaching the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, start to twist to your left as you bring that left arm towards the back of your mat for a low crescent lunge twist. On your next breath in, start to lean back, lifting that right arm up towards the sky for a twisted reverse warrior. And as you exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame that front foot. Stepping it back into plank. Pausing for a breath. And then moving through your version of your vinyasa this morning. Inhaling for your choice of a heart-opening pose. And exhaling, sending the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Taking one more breath here. And on your exhale, walking the feet up to meet the hands into a forward fold. Inhaling up to a flat back position. Exhale, hands back down to the mat and step your left foot back this time. Immediately placing that left knee down. Inhale, rising up for a low crescent lunge. The other side. Making sure to keep your core, your center engaged. For balance, for space in the low back, stability. One more breath here, really reaching up, lifting up through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, start to twist to the right as you bring that right arm behind you for a low crescent lunge twist. Reaching the arms out. Really feel the extension through the center, the core of who you are from your heart. As you inhale, start to lift that left arm up towards the sky as you lean back for a low crescent lunge. Reverse warrior. And exhale, framing that front foot. Stepping back into plank. Pausing for a breath. And once again, moving through your version of your chaturanga. Maybe go all the way down to the ground. Maybe put the knees down. Inhaling to upward facing dog. Exhaling back into downward facing dog. Starting to feel the body become more open. So maybe noticing how this shape feels different than the first one we did at the beginning of your practice. On your next inhale, lift your left leg up towards the sky. Really feel the connection here between lifting the leg up towards the sky and then the leg that's on the ground. So noticing how you can be lifting up with one part of yourself while also staying very grounded with the other. On an exhale, swing that left foot up in between the hands, staying on the ball of the back foot. Pausing for a moment, maybe coming up onto the fingertips to really get the footing, get the grounding ready. When you feel ready, lifting the arms up towards the sky. High crescent lunge. So taking some breaths in this pose. Let's create a little bit of heart opening here. So on the inhale, lift your arms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, cactus those arms out towards the side, lifting the heart up. Inhale, fingertips reach up above you. Exhale, really pulling down, pushing that heart up forward. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, cactusing the arms. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale, opening the hips up for warrior two. So finding your warrior two position here. And once again, notice this feeling of having a solid foundation while also extending yourself and growing yourself at the same time. On your inhale, start to lean back, lifting that front arm up towards the sky for reverse warrior. And as you exhale, start to fold forward into extended side angle. Taking a couple breaths in this extended side angle pose. So freedom to explore, freedom to find what feels good in your body today in this position. Taking one more breath here. Exhale, come back up to that reverse warrior. So lifting that front arm up towards the sky as you lean back. Exhale, start to straighten that front foot. Start to lengthen through the side body as you reach forward towards the top of your mat. And then place the hand down wherever it lands, coming into triangle pose. So really focusing in this pose on creating length in the side body, not collapsing in that front hip. On your next exhale, slowly start to turn that top hand, rotating it, coming into half moon pose. So putting all the weight on your front foot, lifting that back foot up, coming into half moon pose. So really feeling the energy in that back foot, almost like you're kicking your heel in towards the wall. Create stability. So the back leg is working just as hard as the leg on the ground. Feeling balance in this position, while also remembering falling, stumbling is all part of the practice. Slowly start to stay balanced on that front foot, lifting the arm off the ground. Come to a standing position while keeping that right leg off the ground, still just balancing on the left. See if you can bring your foot up into tree pose without using your hands and staying balanced on that left foot. So maybe without using your hands, the foot doesn't come as high as it normally would. Just using the strength of that hip to get it up. Coming back to that intention you set at the beginning of your practice while in this position, while in the midst of this balancing pose. Take one more breath here. On your next exhale, slowly start to shoot that right leg back, coming into warrior three. So staying balanced on the left foot, shooting the right foot back. Pausing in warrior three just for a breath. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the ground, standing splits. Starting to release the top half of the body. And now bring that foot down to meet the front foot, standing forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhaling up to a flat back. Exhale, placing the hands back down on the mat. Stepping back into plank pose. Taking your journey through your vinyasa. And we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. So on your next breath in, lift that right leg up towards the sky. Once again, pausing for a moment just to feel the duality here of the left foot being strongly rooted into the ground as the right leg is just reaching up towards the sky. Exhale, swinging that right foot up in between the hands. Coming up high on the fingertips before we coming up into our crescent lunge, just to get the feeling in the body, feel stable. Before we lift up, bringing the arms up into high crescent lunge. So this time in our high crescent lunge, let's bring the hands back behind the low back, clasping the hands together, and really pulling the heart forward. So start to pull the knuckles down towards the ground as you lift that heart up towards the sky. So once again, the practice of physically opening up our hearts, creating space in this space where we hold so much. Taking one more breath here. And on your next exhale, start to open up into warrior two. So now that we've created the space in the front body, the space in the heart, radiate it out through our arms. Really feel the energy through your arms, through your fingertips. As you spread your heart wide. On your next breath in, start to lift that front arm up towards the sky for reverse warrior. Pausing for a breath here. And exhale, start to come into extended side angle. And once again, we'll be here for probably about 3 breaths. So Really take these 3 breaths to intentionally feel where your body's at. Not always get stuck in doing the same thing you always do. One more breath here. And on your exhale, coming back up into reverse warrior, lifting that right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, start to straighten that front leg, maybe bringing that back foot in a little bit as we come into triangle pose here. So really bending from the waist and not collapsing, but just bringing the hand down for triangle pose. One more breath here. And on your exhale, start to circle that top arm as you come up into half moon pose on the right leg. So putting all the weight into that front foot. And start to lift that left arm back up towards the sky. Finding the balance here. Using your breath, using your intention. Or maybe it's just as simple as finding a still spot to focus your eyes on. One more breath here. As you exhale, stay balanced on that right foot. Start to come into a standing position just on the right foot. And see if you can bring the left foot into tree pose without using the hands. So challenging ourselves in this pose that we take often. Once again here, freedom to explore with the hands, whatever feels good to you. Remembering there's no wrong way to do this practice. Staying curious in the practice leads to staying curious in life, which can lead to so much growth. One more breath here. And on your exhale, start to send that left leg back as you come into Warrior 3 on the right leg. Coming into Warrior 3 just for a breath. And as you exhale on that breath, start to bring the hands towards the mat for standing splits. Keeping that left leg up towards the sky, opening up the hip. Taking one more breath here. Exhale, bring that left foot all the way back. Bring the right foot back to meet the left, coming into plank pose. And move through your vinyasa. Last vinyasa of the day. Exhaling back into downward facing dog. And on this exhale, let's bring the knees down and come into child's pose. Noticing how it feels in the body. Maybe you notice there's more space in the body for this breath to move and to flow. Let's take a big open mouth exhale breath together. So take a big deep inhale here. And exhale, let something go here. Slowly start to walk the hands back to meet the knees. And start to turn to face the long edge of your mat. We're going to come into happy cow here. So just a outer hip opener. So bring that left leg on, fold the knee towards the long edge of the mat as you bring that left heel towards the right glute. And then stack the right knee on top of the left. Pulling that top right heel towards the left glute. So both my knees are facing forward. Inhale, lengthen up through the back. And exhale, leading with the heart, start to walk the hands out in front of you. Once again, using the breath here to create space in these tight outer hips. Maybe yours aren't tight, but mine are. Noticing how when you focus on the breath in these uncomfortable shapes, that can really bring to light how tight the body feels. Once you start focusing on the breath, it almost becomes kind of like a swaying dance, kind of just like a soft movement of breathing in space and then moving into the space. Kind of quiets the mind down too. Start to walk the hands back, switching the legs around this time. So the leg that was on top, fold that one in first to be on the bottom. Taking a big breath here, really lengthening up through the spine. And once again, slowly starting to walk the hands out. Maybe they don't go as far on this side as they did on the other. Or maybe they go further. Totally normal, either way. And the more we start to practice, the more we get on our mat and really breathe into our body, you kind of start to learn your body. What parts usually are tighter than others, which sides are tighter than others. And you learn how to treat all that information that you can gather with love and nourishment. And it kind of becomes this beautiful relationship. One more breath in this happy cow. And slowly start to walk the hands back. Coming back into a comfortable seat position, so crossing the legs once again back to where we started, in easy seat. Lowering down the eyes, placing the hands on the knees, coming back to that breath, coming back to that intention you set at the beginning of your practice. So, all the work we do on our mats can be taken off the mat as well. So today, or tomorrow, or within the next few hours, where's somewhere you would like to intentionally breathe? So we talk a lot about focusing on the breath while on the mat, but the real work lies off the mat. The benefits of our practice extend beyond this rectangular space. So where is somewhere today that you can intentionally breathe? Whether that means you create a space for yourself with a candle, or maybe you just go outside and sit next to a tree. Let nature set the scene. I want to challenge you to take the time to intentionally breathe somewhere today. And just notice, the more that you do that, the more you're able to just intentionally breathe and get in touch with your breath. It's like the wider this practice extends from just this rectangular space to every aspect of your life. To other people, your community. Bringing your hands up to heart center, palms together, feeling that heartbeat beneath the thumbs where the source of all life lives, where our greatest teacher lives. The light and the dark within me truly sees, honors, and loves the light and the dark inside of each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. It was just an awesome place to be. Thank you. It really means a lot seeing everyone show up and practice, and I love it. So I'll see y'all tomorrow at 9 o'clock a.m. Mountain Time, and I'm excited. Love you guys. Bye.